So, choice points, portals, what we're going through now. It's it can feel pretty heavy. I want to say, especially for Leos right now, Leo rising, Leo moon, Leos, the Mars retrograde is in Leo. I think the cycle moves around to testing certain groups at a time. But, again, as the Ryan channelings over the last couple years, it's about, this is an individual birthing. Though it seems like the collective has shifted, and the collective absolutely has. We went somewhere together in a big group so that we could lean things to the light. And now that big group is dividing. I'm kind of all over with this, my mind, but it's individual birthing. We're going through an individual birth canal right now, and it can feel that way. I mean, it can feel like contractions, like your stomach, your solar plexus, heart. Like, where are you giving your power away? We're being asked, who are we giving our power to? What do we believe? And even if we can't shake the stress, or can't shake the thoughts or the heaviness of what's being shown to us now, and we don't feel that we have power over the situation, Spirit says just to write down, or to say it to yourself out loud, whatever, but for me, showing me to write it down. What do I believe about that situation? Like, what would I advise someone else on it? But what is my belief system? And just write that down. I can write it down and burn it. Can write it down and read it. Can ask Spirit, write it down and ask Spirit to help me. And for you too. So just write down the situation and be like, I don't have a solution. I don't have an answer. I don't believe it's going to go my way. I believe that this stress is inevitable. I can't this, I this, and just go, okay. And then from the situation, so whatever your particular situation is, then write down the situation and go, okay, about this situation, and spell it out, whatever your situation is. And then say, what do I believe here? Do I believe that this person or this entity has power over me? Or you kind of do, or you wouldn't be feeling so stressed out about it. Okay, well, why do I believe they have power over me? Well, because I'm predicting the future based on the past. Okay, so in the past, they had power over you, or you felt they had power over you, or your life was more negative, or quality of life was lowered because of this same situation and them having power over you. Okay, yeah. Okay, so in this now moment, you believe that it will be the exact same way. And in some circumstances that I'm refining now, and you go, well, yeah, I kind of believe it'll be the same way. Okay. So then Spirit's like, well, one way to kind of traverse that is to say, well, what's the best case scenario? What's a possibility that is brand new? And you don't have to believe that it will happen, but write down this new possibility, this new energy, how it can be in the new energy. And you don't have to believe it, because I'm like, I know that when I write it, I'm not going to necessarily believe it, but it is what I want. So it is the best case scenario. Obviously, somewhere I've given my power away. And every single one of you, especially light workers and starseeds, are being tested with this and being shown, okay, what do you believe in this circumstance now? And then I love the cryon stuff of going, for example, I give my confidence permission to bypass my fear. So in this situation, I give my fear of other people having power over me. Okay, first, permission to leave. So I give my confidence I give my assuredness, I give my belief in myself, I give my power permission to bypass my fear of other people's power over me, of other people's opinion of me, of other people's rights over me. I give my peace of mind, my joy, my comfort, my relaxation and just peace of mind permission to bypass my panic attack, to bypass my fear, to bypass my worry, to bypass my self-consciousness, to bypass any low vibrating triggers, traumas, or programs. And so it is. Amen. You are all being challenged in some way in your life to this. Now, I can see what is bringing this to my life right now. And Spirit's showing me clearly that, yeah, this is the way it's presenting itself to me. And this is my task to move through. But it's not because of what it's being shown to me as. It's that it already lives in me. The fear, the panic, the trauma, the triggers, the past stuff is already there. And this current situation that is purging it for me to feel it is simply a catalyst to eventual healing and eventual acceptance. And these are some tools to do it by what I just said. You don't have to say, oh, well, no, nobody has power over me. Or affirmation, no one has power over me. No one has power over me. I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim. Well, in this particular situation, clearly I believe people have power over me. And clearly I believe I'm a victim to it. So my challenge is to integrate what I believe in some areas of my life to all areas of my life, to integrate what I want to be my truth and what I affirm to be my truth into my actual lived experience of truth. Because, I have a pretty strong victim archetype from being a victim as a child. The self-awareness of past lives of being victim and abuser and being on all sides of everything. I've done so much healing work my entire life. And so that too, I'm judging myself now on, going, well, I've been doing this healing work my whole life, Spirit. Why does this have to come up again? Why do I need to worry and panic and stress again? And Spirit just keeps telling me that every single person, especially light workers and starseeds, are facing this again to feel the emotions of it and to refine their belief system on it, and that you don't have to actually heal it right now. You don't have to force yourself to not feel it, because that's forcing yourself to feel something you don't is the same thing that you're railing against, or that you're triggering your panic or your trauma or your worry, Spirit says. So just be gentle on yourself. Like, you want this particular energy to be kind to you and gentle to you and tell the truth, but you can't control them. But I can control myself, and I can tell myself the truth. And I can be honest with myself and speak my truth, and whatever the powers that I believe be or are do about it, there's nothing I can do about their choices. I can only make my choices. Now, this can show up in your life in any way at all right now, as a health challenge, a money challenge, a spouse challenge, something to do with the matrix, something to do with your how maybe you bring in money, or how you survive, or just it can come from any direction, and it's going to feel like a panic attack. It's going to feel like worry. It's going to feel like stress. It's going to feel like the governments of man and the health boards and the doctors and everything in the matrix has complete power over you, and you just need to go along with whatever they say. And there's no hope of you being sovereign and creating the reality you want your way. And that's not true in the true essence of who we really are. But that's what we believe. I know that I create my reality, and I know that I draw people and circumstances to me so that I can be a better and better me. I know that we're integrating now what we know with what we believe, right? When a belief moves into a knowing, that's when your reality shifts. I've studied so much. I know so much. I see so much psychic. I've had spirit guides. I've had channeled information. Like, I know without a doubt facts on facts. But I can't integrate them into my waking reality. By waking, I mean, I think I do sometime in dream or interdimensional travel, definitely in meditation. But, because why do I have that background stress? Why do I have constant worry? Why do I have constant fight or flight? And everything that I've done to do, emotional healing layer after layer, year after year, and now it's surfaced again. What is the catalyst, and why, like the Bashar stuff, anyone can say anything they want to you, Bashar says. It's you who put the definition to the words. I put the definition to the words. And in my current thing, I think Spirit's showing me that, and in probably what you're dealing with, the ego, because I go, well, worst case scenario in the energy of it, something is removed from my life that I haven't used in 12 to 15 years. Haven't even partook in anything similar to it in 15 years. And it's going to be removed from my life, and that's the worst case scenario. I mean, who cares, right? There is no worst case scenario. And either I trust Spirit and I trust myself, or I don't. So, okay, that's cool. I can accept that. I really believe that. But then I go, okay, well, then there's this other worry and panic and energy. What is that? Is that the fear of loss of control? Is that my ego? Is that I need to be right? Is that I'm pretending I trust Spirit? I'm pretending that I trust my frequency, and that everything that happens is going to be my highest and best? Because I believe that I trust myself, and I raise my vibration, and whatever frequency I'm in, I trust what's drawn to me and what's repelled from me. But then I resist it. And then my ego resists it. And then I have panic attacks. And then I have, kind of moment-to-moment disabling stress over worrying about an illusion. I know that the logic is one thing, but my mind and my ego creates it into something else, and then I panic. So am I panicking over the truth, or am I panicking over the illusion? And these are some challenges for me and for you. What is the truth of the situation? And write it down. Write down, okay, this is the situation. This is what I currently believe. This is what I want to believe, because this is what I know would be, this is what I know I believe, but I haven't integrated that belief into a knowing. So, and don't judge yourself if it doesn't just disappear. But as we're all, Bashar calls it going through the eye of the needle. Ryan talks about it being an individual birthing, because we were talking that same day about it feeling like birthing a new reality, and having the physical symptoms of birthing, and having intense contractions and pains, and for me, I got stomach and solar plexus and just intense cramping. And the gal I was visiting with about it has had kids in this reality, and I haven't had kids, but what I imagine, that kind of pain and screaming out, and we're all going through a birthing process individually together. And we're all moving from a carbon base to a crystalline base at a different pace. And we really have to let go of what we wish other people would believe or what they would do, and just simply leave their reality. And that goes for, all the governments of man, all of your local politics and policies and corruption in health boards and city councils and commissioners and all these people that they're not going to have power over you when they don't have, the money. And they're going to go through, today we were having it come up where the dark's going to eat the dark. So the dark's consuming the dark now because they're not going to be in the light. But for now, are still marrying stuff to each other, and they think they're right and they think they're righteous. And like this thing of, these corrupt governments don't believe they're corrupt. And they are. And they're not in constitutional law. They're not human rights for all. They're not, of high integrity. And in this new earth, they won't have any funding to do their dirty deeds. So in the interim, what they'll do is they'll create funding within their own darkness. So I seen one town in Washington State raise the property tax 52%. Okay, they'll raise sales tax. They're going to do a tax on unrealized gain. They're going to find taxes every which way they can to where they drive most people out of the state. And then they only have the people that are the poor folks that are that need to live off the system. And how long can they do that? How long can they fund all of their things on local stuff? And, state courts, the federal government funding some stuff, it's all just going to change. And that amount of light that Spirit's showing me that I experience in my life, or truth, or honor, or constitutional law, or things that are human rights and civil rights, and, the more things I experience that are peaceful, righteous, or, true and correct, or the highest integrity, based on what I can believe is possible, what I believe is there. And I'm still holding on to the belief that they have power over me. And so and you're doing that somewhere in your life with something. So, just keep writing it out. You don't have to believe that they don't have power over you. You don't have to believe that you can manifest a new home and manifest an income and, manifest people out of your life or manifest people in you. You don't have to believe it, but you could write down what you want to believe. And you can write down what you believe and ask Spirit to help you to move it into a knowing. And so that's just some of the stuff we're doing now as we're refining to move into New Earth. And to move into a life, I can't imagine it. I felt it here and there, but I'm just being honest that I can't imagine a life of peace. And I pray for peace, and I pray for contentment. But I have this constant background of stress, and my solar plexus tight, and now it's shifted to my heart. My heart is tight. And this fear, this panic and fear of what the bad guys will do to me. And I live with that every day. And I do my meditations and I do the clearings of the collective, and I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep doing that every day as I've been doing. And raising my frequency and integrating the new, raising my frequency and integrating the new. However, at this moment in time, the honesty is I do have fear of the governments of man, and I do have fear of the mob, and I do have fear of the haters, and I do have fear of the abusers out there that won't let up on me. And I have fear, deathly fear of the cops, deathly fear of the judges, fear of the corrupt and the lies and the lies of the mobs, and how they can just think it's okay to hurt people that believe different than them. And I want to not be afraid of them, but I am. And I go to the parks and the stores, or rooms where they're in, and I am afraid of them, and my heart seizes and my chest seizes, and that's something that I have to integrate, and I have to dissolve and move into another level. And so for you, where's that going on in your life? What are you refining? What are you looking at in your life that you're believing someone else has power over you. And Spirit's saying, I'm admitting that I have that in my life. And Spirit's telling me to, I don't have to know exactly what it is. And neither do you. So this is for you too, that just to write it down. So again, write down what I believe in this moment. Who has power over me? Write down what I want to believe. And ask Spirit to help me with these. And give permission to, like I said, my confidence, all that stuff I said earlier, to bypass any fear. And just keep feeling it. I can't change it in this moment. And I can't change the belief that they have power over me in this moment. All I can do is let it come up and deal with it. Let it come up and deal with it. Let it come up, feel it, feel it, feel it. And then let it present itself again over and over and over until I've integrated it. And that's not a pleasant thought, because I just really don't like this feeling in my body of my current challenge. And you might be feeling the same. So these are advice for you, advice for me from Spirit on how to integrate into this next level of reality and new earth and the promise of peace someday. I just I say this positive, and I'm not a victim, but I really can't I can't imagine a peace. Like, I can't imagine every day feeling relaxed, my solar plexus relaxed, feeling just comfortable and not having anxiety and stress and knots in my stomach and knots in my chest, panic type energy every day, fight or flight. I can't imagine a life of that. I've tried everything, and so far I haven't yet experienced that. But I'm hopeful. And I love you. Bye for now.